Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Okay, let's pick up something of a bit where we left off yesterday, talking about the Ondo State, well, some have called it a shadow election, but we're talking about really the primary, the APC party primaries to determine the candidate in the November 16 governorship election coming up. And it's not news anymore. It's been well circulated that the incumbent governor, Mr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has won that. It's in spite of complaints from, co-contestants, those who contested with him, some saying outright that no election happened at all in Ondo State. Well, that's their view, because, the person in charge, the Kogi State governor, who oversaw the whole exercise, has said that whatever happened was not significant enough to affect the outcome of the election. Mr. Aiyedatiwa, the incumbent governor, emerged with over 48,000 votes, and that's far, far ahead of the very next person who scored, virtually a third of that. Okay, our guest this morning is Ambassador Shola Iji. He's a former Nigerian ambassador to Togo, as well as being the leader of the foundational members. He's a member of foundational members of APC. Good morning to you, Ambassador.
Good morning.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for making yourself available. Now, the chairman of APC in Ondo State has said he's appealed to all concerned to see the election that has produced Mr. Aiyedatiwa as, a win for APC. And as a matter of fact, that there were no losers, because at the end of the day, everybody has to come together on behalf of APC to win that election. Now, whereas one can understand that is indeed how the chairman would speak, but there's no doubt that Mr. Aiyedatiwa, he won by a healthy margin, a very, very healthy margin. What is the mood from your point of view in, the state right now? Are people, of the mind that, well, the election has come and gone, we now have, a candidate for the election, we put all of that behind us so that we can all come together and fight for the party to win? As far as the chairman had said, there was no victor, really, no loser. It was that APC won. Your perspective, sir?
Well, thank you. I guess the chairman was right when he made that submission and that appeal to members of the party. The truth of the matter is that we had primaries, the governorship primary, scheduled for Saturday, 28th of April, and that primary was held. And it has produced a winner, and the other participants legitimately must have to accept that the primary was held. They have legitimate right to complain of one infraction or the other. But by and large, the primary had come and gone, and what remains for us to do is to heal the wounds, that may have been experienced by some aspirants or even some members who believe that they didn't have their day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is what I consider is happening right now, and the need for us to close ranks and put the exercise behind.
Okay. I was just looking at the figures, and Mr. Aiyedatiwa scored 48,500 votes, and he was followed a distant second by Mr. Akinfolari, 15,300 votes, and then Olushola Oke, 14,900 votes. The chairman has said that the election should be seen as a family affair. The results have been announced. Hopefully, it's well accepted by all. So the question I wanted to ask is, he said that family affair, the way the chairman characterized it, how united do you think the party is? Okay, we can see what's going on, but okay, there you go. How united do you think the party is in Ondo State? Because we do have to move forward from here, and you must be hoping as a party member to win that election. How united is the party for the task ahead, in your opinion?
But, my opinion is that the party is quite united. We had aspirants, in fact, 16 of them. And so the party was segregated along the aspiration of these 16 aspirants. And they participated in varied capacities. Some were very strong on the ground with strong followership. Some had sufficient or enough support, and they traversed the 203 wards of the state. They worked very hard. Some didn't do as much. Some were on the in the social media. They were so prominent. Some were prominent in terms of billboards and advertorials. So they participated in various ways, and they had their own different supporters. So the primary haven't come and gone. There is need to aggregate these varied support. I would be unhappy if my aspirant that I spent enough time to support, to work for, to traverse the whole state, did not win. You should expect that there will be some segregation in terms of whether or not the aspirant or the leader of that process made it or not, as we have seen in the result of the primaries. But having said that, the way forward is to bring the people back to the party, because the aspirants wanted to take the ticket of the party and expect that all the other groups and aspirants will rally around the candidate of the party. So we need to do some level of reconciliation in the context in which the state chairman had made that appeal, for everybody to return to the fold of the party because of the oncoming governorship election in the state. So it is not as if we are divided, but yes, segregated along the line of the aspirants that were variously or differently supported by members of the party. Mm-hmm. As members of the party, somebody had won. All we now need is to bring everybody back to support the party as well as the candidate of the party.
Okay, healing following the conclusion of the exercise.
Exactly.
As you know, some have already, used the avenues that have been laid down by your party for complaints. They've sort of protested. They've sent their petitions in that they are not satisfied. Indeed, it was as serious as some people saying that no election actually took place, as I said at the very, very beginning. So, at the moment, we can understand that there might be emotions, but how doable do you see that as? I wonder if you see it as this has been expected. You've just said that, you know, when a person loses, it's understandable that they will feel pained. But to be sure, to make sure that things don't go just anyhow, anywhere they will, getting people on board so that we don't have a phenomenon where people actually feel sufficiently aggrieved to perhaps work against the party, or that is not even a possibility in Ondo State, to work against, you know, the candidate. If I couldn't get it, okay, and I feel aggrieved, okay, we'll see. Let's go on there.
Well, let me first correct one impression. In your statement, you seem to recall what you said. You said at the beginning that there were insinuations about whether or not election was held. I'll correct that impression.
Well, it's not my statement, sir. It's
yeah,
you know,
no,
you understand. This was said by competitors with the governor.
Oh, okay.
This was said by competitors with the governor.
The truth of the matter is that we held elections. Primary was held all over the state. In some wards, in some areas, there were some infractions. Some complained that there were crises that marred elections in some areas.
Yeah.
But we're talking of elections being held in 203 wards. 203 wards. So in how many places did we have these infractions? As a ratio of the number of wards where elections were actually held. And yes, people can complain about the conduct of the election in a few places, and that will reflect, it's even reflected in the number of petitions that we have now. If 16 aspirants contested, one had been declared, 15 others, we are having 3 petitions.
That's right.
So you see, as a ratio of the number of contestants, 3 are the ones complaining. I don't have details of what is contained in their petition. When that one is made public, we will know. But for you to have 3 out of the remaining 15 aspirants complaining, you can see the percentage, and that can be accommodated. I'm not saying that they don't have legitimate right to complain, but we are saying those who are complaining are few, you know, and therefore it's not sufficient to say that the aspirants are all complaining that election did not hold.
No. I didn't say any such thing. As I sort of explained to you that I was, you know, reporting on what co-contestants, some, not all of them, some co-contestants
that's what I'm saying.
Said, you know.
There are 3 co-contestants that are complaining.
That's
because
right.
The legitimate route to complain is the appeals to the appeals committee.
That's right, and they have done so.
That has been provided. So whoever is complaining legitimately have a right to approach the appeal committee, and the appeal committee should, you know, be prepared to look into these petitions and you know, act accordingly.
What do
in the overall interest of the party.
Okay, let me then ask you, what do you think the figures are? What story do you think the figures say? Mr. Governor Aiyedatiwa, he won by 48,500 votes, tripling the closest competitor, tripling the votes of the closest competitor to him. What story do you think that tells? Because this is going to lead me on to the other thing I'd like to hear your opinion on, the chances of APC to stay in Government House come that important day of November 16.
Well, you see, the popularity of the governor cannot be overemphasized. We're all in the party. We have Honorable, His Excellency Honorable Lucky Orimisun Aiyedatiwa. He's a sitting governor. And he came in to office about 3 months ago, roughly, and he has performed within the limit of the opportunities and resources available, to him. I'm aware that he went around the entire local government. He went around, and the support was overwhelming. So, having said that, if out of 172,000 revalidated members, you have this number of votes cast, I don't think what we have gotten is unexpected. And I think for a sitting governor to attract 48,000 out of 172,
yes,
it shows that it was a fair contest. Whether it triples or doubles, those who ran close to him, it shows the level of popularity among members of the party.
Okay. Now, outside of the party, since we're looking, that is gauging, as it were, or assessing the strength of the opposition, those who would also vie for the seat, because they are watching and they are gearing up for a good contest, I would imagine, come November. How do you fancy the chances of APC in that election?
APC is the ruling party in the state, and we have every expectation that the rank of the opposition is already decimated. In fact, it will be difficult for them, to come together and have a fair day, because they are divided, sharply divided. The party is, even at the national level, they are embattled. They can't even, there's nobody who is providing leadership at the national level. They're trying to find their bearing. And when you come to the state, they are completely decimated. So who are they to say that they want to contest with a ruling party that has the welfare of the citizens of Ondo State, at heart? This governor is performing. He's been dishing out a lot of welfare packages to the citizens. The civil servants are happy with him. In fact, yesterday they were on the street jubilating, congratulating him for winning the ticket of the party. And it's a demonstration of the kind of support that the people of Ondo State have for the governor. And now that he has won the ticket of the party for a re-election, it'll be a walkover. We're not talking of members of the party who are itching to remain in power. We're talking of the citizens who can see what the party is doing through the governor. I mean, you can, if you come around and you conduct your own survey, you will say that there is no opposition here. They are decimated. It's as good as dead.
Okay. All right. Let me bring on our first caller. Mr. George has called in from Ikeja. A fine morning to you. Please go ahead now.
Thank you, Uncle Yori, and good morning to you and your guests.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, please.
If the claim of the people that did not win, if they are claiming that there was no election, how come that Olushola Oke won in his local government? How come that all the participants, nobody that did not get votes? Some of them got, most of them, or all of them, got votes. So it doesn't mean they have denied that nobody voted for them. Truth of the matter is, these persecutions that they are giving the governor is going to see further make him popular. Whether it is in the interest of these other participants to cooperate with the governor for the elections, if they continue with this animosity towards him, he will still win the election in the same pattern he won the primary. Because I don't see a sensible government that has a sitting governor or a sitting president. Then you will tell the people that this our governor is not performing. That's why we brought another one. Do you think the people will vote for the person? That would have been giving the governorship to PDP on a platter of gold. Now that it has happened naturally, and the people have shown their support for the popularity of the governor, these other ones should please cooperate with him and allow the state to be. It's a candid advice. 17 people or 16 people contested. We cannot have 16 governors in Ondo State. There can only be one governor at a time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. Ambassador? Yeah. Did you want to comment on that?
Mr. George has been very clear in the example he cited. Chivolu Sholake won in his local government. He couldn't have complained that there was no election in his local government. There are video clips of these elections in most parts of the state, in most wards. We've found people seated, people queuing up, people carrying banners of their preferred candidates or aspirants. And what George has said, what Mr. George has said, is a very clear situation, reflection of the situation on the ground.
Okay.
Don't forget that the returning officer is the sitting governor of Kogi State. And he had very responsible men and women, on his committee. And he came here, supervised the primaries, and went through the process of conducting and finally declaring the results. And delegates came thereafter to reaffirm, the outcome of the primaries. And not one or two people. You can see the crowd that came in to do the affirmation in accordance with the constitution and guidelines for the primaries.
Okay.
And how can you say that, how can anybody say there was no election?
All right. In Otukpo, Emmanuel, I believe, is waiting in Otukpo, Benue State. Did I get that right? Yep. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir. Good morning.
Greetings to your guests.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Uncle Yori, I'm worried about what is happening in Ondo State because I have a lot of friends from Ondo State. And I want the election to be seamless. I don't know why our politicians are not learning. Now, if we do politics from 1999 to 2024, can we still call that democracy has been nascent? No. 20 years, it should be an adult by now. Because if you have a child who's supposed to grow through the milestones and is still behaving at the age of 12, is behaving like an infant, that looks like a moron. So can we call our democracy moronic? So if we continue with this and we don't learn from two very viable examples exist for us in the APC presidential primaries and the PDP presidential primaries. Now, the clean player, he won his election, there was no noise, and he continued into the main election, and God bless him with victory. But in the other side of PDP, people were campaigning and playing to win the election, and then a dinosaur came around and tried to oppress and carried the day. And they began to praise another co-contestant that was the hero of the primaries. Then Wike said, no way. How can they do this to me? And we know the rest is, as they will say, is history. So our politicians should please play according to the rule of the game, knowing that somebody is watching them from heaven. Let us have peace in Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Ambassador, we'll take a break now. Please stay with us. We'll be right back to continue this conversation and continue taking your calls.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel. TVC News. First with breaking news.
Our planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back, and thank you very much, Ambassador Shola Iji, former Nigerian ambassador to Togo, and as well as a leader of a leader and foundational member of APC. We're sort of looking at reviewing the primary election in Ondo State. It's come and gone. It's been won by the incumbent governor, and the ambassador has been telling us that he's been doing quite well, and so it would be something of an anomaly if he wasn't elected to continue the good job. Now, when a caller, it was, I think, Mr. George, our first caller, he spoke about, well, in his own analysis, that the opponents might have inadvertently shot themselves in the foot with what he called the victimization that was, aimed at the governor, and that this might have then engendered sympathy votes. So we have the very clear way in which he won. So I wanted you to speak to that aspect of his analysis. There were a lot of, 15, 16 people who contested with him. So it's not as if there weren't many people who thought that, move over, Mr. Governor, I'm as good as anyone else. So this matter of victimization and giving him stress, giving him trouble, do you think that played any part in something of a sympathy vote for the governor?
Well, if you look at the from a historical perspective, this is a governor who was deputy governor. He came in as deputy to the late governor. Before the demise of the former governor, a lot of contests by most of the major dramatists personnel, those who contested with him in the last Saturday's primaries.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, Ambassador. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just got a call and I don't want to lose it. So if you hold your thoughts for a moment, I'll come right back to you. Nasiru has called in from Mowe. Good morning, Nasiru.
Good morning, George.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to your guest too.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, please.
I agree in totality with Mr. George. Nigeria today, we should learn something. I'm not a politician. If we learn, take every election as a sport. If you're a loser, you have to come back to the round table and resolve issues. Today, the Kogi State governor and the Omagege, they are representatives of APC. And with due respect to them, they are not blind to saw what transpired. Somebody came on here this morning on Arise TV saying that he is a supporter of one of the aspirants and that the PDP is waiting for them. It's supposed not to be. That they are ready to join alliance with PDP. What the party has not come in to resolve. Aiyedatiwa happens to be my schoolmate. I happen to be the president of one of the sets. Look at this propaganda. They are saying he didn't have school starts, he didn't have this. I happen to be the president of one set. We are complete man. Let peace reign in Ondo State. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, Nasiru, for calling in. Okay, it's along the same theme, Mr. Ambassador. Please continue.
Thanks so much. Well, if Mr. Nasiru made reference to somebody who came up on Arise television program this morning, you know, most of these people who are complaining, they are not members of APC. If you are a member of APC, you'll be more concerned about positioning your party to effectively approach the next general election. You might have disagreements in terms of process or procedure, but not for you to go on air talking to the public about how prepared the opposition is to grab power from your own political party. And that's why some of us who are aborigines of APC, we are saying that it is better for an aborigine to have the ticket. And I'm personally happy that the likes of the guy who was said to be on Arise television, there are people junketing among political parties. And every time they give the impression that they have mastery of the political process, they campaign, they canvass. If your candidate had lost and you are a genuine member of the party, you will sit down along with other members of the party to now strategize as to how to reunite everybody behind the candidate of the party and then approach the general election as a united political party. They've been harassing the governor right from the time he was deputy. They wanted to remove him. They wouldn't even allow him to act as governor at a time when the governor himself was incapacitated. They wanted to create constitutional crisis. So the guy had mustered sufficient support, both within the party and in the larger polity in Ondo State. And that is the support that people are giving to him. And they are moving away from those characters who have been oppressing him, who have been trying to victimize and present him as somebody who is a personal non gratis. Now he has won, and they are still not ready to collaborate and support him for towards the general election. That is not leadership. I can't say that those people are loyal party members, but I'm happy that the stage we are, we have a candidate of the party, and what those of us who are leaders of the party are called upon to do now is to join the party in the state to bring everybody together so that at least we know that we'll be united very strongly to go into that contest.
Okay. Ade in the UK has been waiting to join the program. Good morning to you, Ade in the UK.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning, Mr. Ade.
I have a different opinion. I disagree with everything you have been saying. The caller has been saying that they support this, they support that. We are the indigenous of Ondo State. We know what is going on. There is no election in Ondo State. Everything is done from Abuja. Abuja organized everything. There is no single election. In my town in Owo, there is no election. If there is election, there is no way that will win in Owo. There is no way. Because they won't vote for him because of what he did during the Akechi's demise. So it's a lie. I know Shola give very well. So there's nothing like election in Ondo State. It's a selection. Even the deputy governor is having now was choose for him from Abuja because he's a clerk of assembly before. So we know what is happening, but we are waiting for the election day. Then you will know. PDP will win the next. I'm APC, but PDP will take over Ondo State in the next election. Wait and see. You see, I'll tell you. Because we know what is happening. People can come on TV and say whatever they want. Because they want one thing or the other from the government. I don't want anything from the governor. So. Okay.
I guess we hear it from different, different strokes for different folks. Ambassador.
No, but let me come in.
Yes.
I didn't get the name of the person who said he was calling from Owo.
He goes by Ade, calling in from the UK. Did you hear me? You said you didn't get. Didn't. He goes by Ade and he called in from the UK.
Oh, you see, with due respect, he calls himself a member of APC. I mean, if you listen to his expression, he's unhappy. He's talking with venom. He's far removed from what is happening on the ground. Owo is very much in support of the deputy governor. Owo is very much in support of the governor. Yes, we lost the former governor, but as a sign of respect, I mean, the governor picked his deputy from Owo, more so because that ticket belongs to Owo. And he had gotten back to Owo to make sure that Owo is still integrated in the same ticket. So for him to be in UK and be saying that there was no election, how did he get the knowledge? For those of us who are on the ground there, we knew when the campaign went to Owo, the Kabiyesi, the Olowo of Owo, his palace was filled to the brim. And he prayed. He prayed graciously, for Aiyedatiwa and said Owo is in support of his aspiration. Where is Ade? You don't know all of this. And then in any event, how can you be a genuine member of APC? And you are already threatening from UK that PDP will win Owo. I mean, can you be a loyal party man? You are in APC. You are threatening that PDP will win Owo. It's so funny. It's so funny. I think they are not speaking as party men, and I'm sure that it must have come from PDP to APC. That's why he's rooting for PDP to win. No matter whatever infraction you may have within your party, ideologically, you should be passionate about your party and to struggle to correct whatever inadequacies you have in your party. If you are a strong party man, So you cannot be expressing you are in your house, you prefer somebody to come and head your house.
All right.
Incredible.
I have another caller on the line. Azan has called in. Good morning, Mr. Azan.
Good morning, Guyori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I'm calling from Aiyedatiwa. Yeah, good morning, Guyori, once again.
Yeah.
Just like the man is saying, everybody has his own opinion to the political terrain in the state. Just like what the man called and said, I can also feel his passion, maybe whatever maybe the political gimmicks that played in Ondo State during the time of late Akechi then. Maybe that is why he's saying that. But like me, what I want other people to do, we all saw what happened to Vikandi. We all knew what happened there. The way the House of Assembly wanted to impeach him, the members of the House of Rep trying to play some games and every other thing, trying to change some constitution and other things. We know that just like during the time of Yadu and Jonathan then, when he was incapacitated, at least we saw that there was necessity, this thing that came in that made him to bring Jonathan. That was what was happening in this state then. But nevertheless, after all these things, my only issue is that whoever that has won, but I want every members of the party. Because the opposition now, just like what happened in Ondo State, to be candid, I really love what they did then. They were able to bring the winner and the runner-up together and make sure that they were able to stay and fought forward for the party in the forthcoming election. The same thing should come to Ondo State. What should have come now, what I'm expecting my ambassador to do, is to try to bring everybody together now.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Calling in Azan from Aiyedatiwa. Mr. Ambassador, just a few moments ago, you were speaking, you referred to yourself as an aborigine APC. I sort of took note of it. What exactly does that mean when you refer to yourself as aborigine APC?
Yeah, you know what we mean. You described me as a foundational member of APC. That aborigine means the same thing as foundational.
Okay.
Meaning that we are those who started with the party.
Okay.
Originally.
Okay.
Originally.
You've seen the party.
We have remained members. Not those guys who, like the guy who went on a rise this morning, who was in PDP. He left PDP for Labour. He left Labour for APC. He left APC for PDP, and now he's back in APC. I mean, do you consider that aboriginal? Do you consider him as a loyal member of APC, if he's a member at all? Because I haven't heard when he went back to his ward to declare that he has come back to APC. So the aborigines, the foundational members, are more interested in the continuity of the party. So everything good about the party we want to sustain. If we are doing anything that is wrong, it is for us to ensure that those things are corrected, but not because something went wrong, then we must destroy the party. It's only those who are coming from other political parties into the party who will care less. How can you be in your party and you say the opposition should win an election that is coming in November? And a primary was held on Saturday. Today is Tuesday. Efforts should be made, first and foremost, to reconcile, to bring everybody together. It's too early in the day to be thinking of an election that is coming up in November, and you are already giving victory to the opposition. That cannot be a committed, loyal member of the party. We should be passionate about our party. Some of us who are foundational members, who are aborigines of the party, we are passionate about our party. We want the party to continue to survive. And if by chance we are defeated in any election, we want to sit back and re-strategize so that we win the next opportunity that we have, to contest election in the state. Not that once you lose one little opportunity, then the party must die.
Okay, I get you now.
Be a loyal and committed member of the party.
Thank you for that explanation.
Interested in the continuity of our party.
Okay, let me bring on Folorunso in Minna. Good morning, Mr. Folorunso.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Yoris.
Thank you for calling in.
How are you? Let me first of all greet your guest.
Yeah,
thank you.
Ambassador Eji.
Yeah, Ambassador Eji. Yeah, I'm calling from Minna. I'm from Akoko Northwest.
Good.
Yeah, I'm from Akoko Northwest. I'll give you precise. Because I called my people in Narigidi. There was an election here. This man that was calling from from London, that election they didn't hold in or is a lie. Because I called Narigidi Akoko, my town, on Saturday during the election. I was told there was an election that Aiyedatiwa was voted for overwhelmingly. So I don't see the reason why somebody from London will be telling us the election is not, he didn't hold it. Was it there? And by God's grace, like Ambassador said, we should be a standing member, not a destroying member. Support do you want the PDP to take over? So please, let everybody, the Ambassador, please, after this, go back, coordinate Port Olusola and others, let them come together and rally around Aiyedatiwa so that Aiyedatiwa can become the substantive governor of the state in the next coming election. That's our own prayer. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. This is very much in line with what the ambassador was saying, especially as he explained what are the aboriginal members of APC are the foundational member, if you were looking for an alternative term. And they don't want to see a house that they built brick by brick. The implication of that is that they actually saw the party from when it was, what do you call it now, a site. And then they started to build. They dug foundation, they built brick by brick. Now that it's the edifice that it is, they're not going to sit back and watch it being pulled down, especially by new entrants to the party. That, I believe, is the explanation that the ambassador just gave us. Well,
thank you.
I want to thank you very much. You got advice there from the gentleman who called in from Minna, that see what you can do. Do your utmost to bring those other people together so that as he wants it, your party can win. But I'm afraid the PDP will also be thinking along the same lines. It is the nature of the business. It's the nature of the business that is coming up come November. But the important thing is that you are passionate. The figures are good from the governor that he won by. And we just leave everything till the important day in November. I want to thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for coming on the program and giving us the benefit of your perspective on all of this. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there now. That's our program today. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.